Welcome. In this session, we're going to look at the power of centering, which is really the art of concentration. Many of us would say that our minds are kind of scattered and distracted, not necessarily in every arena of life, but at least in some. It's like you sit down to think something through and you're gone, or you're trying to get to the bottom of a dilemma and you can't even remember what's going on. Our minds, our attention, our energy often jump into the past. And when they go to the past, it's not necessarily at all in a useful way, which is possible, but it's really just ruminating, and often it's ruminating about things that we now regret. But we're not thinking about them for ways to make amends or for lessons learned. We're just going over it and over it and over it. And or our minds jump to the future. And we create a scenario that has not happened and may never happen. And we're filled with anxiety about that. So this is a huge amount of life's energy that's just scattered. It's lost to us. And what we do in that process of concentration is we gather. We learn to gather this energy, this attention. We bring it back. And in that bringing back, we experience a kind of wholeness or integration of our being. It's like the larger manifestation of that scatteredness or distractedness is a sense of fragmentation. It's the way we can have so much role identification, for example, in our lives, where we feel like we're one person at work and we're a different person at home. Or my favorite example of that is probably I was teaching somewhere, and somebody raised her hands and she said, I feel filled with loving kindness for all beings everywhere as long as I'm alone. But as soon as I'm with others, it's really rough. And everybody laughed because we knew exactly what she meant. And of course, it can be the other way around. We feel fine when we're with others, but very ill at ease being on our own. So we want to bring all these parts of ourselves together and experience the wholeness of our being. It's also very, very empowering because that's a lot of energy that could be available to us, but is not. It's just wasted. And so the principles of concentration are gathering, attention, and resting. Resting is a very important concept. Very commonly, this is trained or this is cultivated through choosing an object of awareness, resting our attention on that object, learning how to let go of distractions, and come back. And what we do in almost a mechanical or technical way in a formal meditation practice is like training the muscle so we can do it in our lives, letting go more gracefully, more gently, being able to begin again, over and over again, without finding fault with ourselves or feeling demoralized or discouraged. And we experience the power of having that energy available to us, where it was once just scattered. Many times people feel that concentration is kind of a rough thing, that it's fierce, it's ferocious, it's repressive. I was once teaching somewhere and it was a non-residential weekend, and maybe Saturday before lunch, somebody came to me and said, how much money would it take for me to offer you for you not to use the word concentration ever again? So clearly, for him, that word meant kind of fiercely holding on to something and resenting or trying to reject anything else that came up in the way. And I said to him, how would it work for you if every time I use the word concentration, you translated that in your mind to rest, center, making attention more steady? And he said that would work. So I said, you just saved yourself a lot of money, right? So whatever you call it, it's that process. And it's a gentle process. It's a process of restoring, of returning, learning how to come back in a very wholehearted way. Commonly, we use an object like the feeling of the breath. It doesn't have to be the breath. But as my early meditation teachers would say, first of all, You don't have to identify with anything to use the breath as an object. You don't have to call yourself a Buddhist or a Hindu or reject anything else. If you're breathing, you can be meditating. And then as one said, I've always felt very charmingly, he said, the breath is very portable. If we have a formal meditation practice, 5 or 10 or 15 minutes a day, and we use something like the feeling of the breath to return to ourselves, to return to the moment, then we're at work or we're commuting or something else is going on and we have the breath. Someone else is getting angry. We're getting anxious. There's a lot of chaos around us. We don't need equipment. We don't need to sit down cross-legged and look weird. We can be breathing. It's completely private. It's completely personal. For some people, the breath doesn't work. There are physical reasons, emotional reasons, whatever. It's not really a place of rest. And that's fine. It doesn't mean that you have to do remedial practice. It's just finding another object that will satisfy those conditions. It's readily available, something you can access wherever you are. It's going to be private. It could be listening to sound. It could be feeling other sensations in your body. Whatever it is, we have some object of awareness. We rest our attention on it. And sometimes people feel, let's say it's the breath as an example, that if they get a death grip on the breath, their minds won't wander and they'll actually wander more. So we learn that balancing act. It's very delicate to gather all of our attention and be fully there in a relaxed way. And this, of course, provides a tremendous sense of ease. If you think about how we spend our day, how we live our lives, and how little we just have a sense of a break. I need a pause. I need a moment just to come back to myself. And when we do that in a busy situation, we find we come back to our values. We come back to what we really care about more than anything. So it's a very simple sounding technique. And to be completely honest, when I first learned it, I had gone to India as a junior in college to learn meditation. I went as part of an independent study program. And this was the first meditation I was ever taught. Sit down and feel your breath. And I thought, well, that's stupid. Where's the magical, esoteric, fantastic technique that's going to clear away all my suffering and make me a totally happy person? Feel my breath. I'd been going to college in Buffalo, New York. I thought I could have stayed in Buffalo to feel my breath. And then I thought, how hard can this be? And lo and behold, it wasn't 800 breaths or 900 breaths before my mind wandered. It was one breath or half a breath, and I'd be gone, and I'd be way gone. And I heard over and over and over again, that's not a problem. Because what we are practicing, as one of my teachers said, we're exercising the letting go muscle, and we're learning to return. That's the most important thing. Sometimes we may be resting our attention on the feeling of the breath, and there's a tremendous amount going on. That's fine. We're not trying to wipe out thinking or make feelings go away or make everything just so lovely and sweet that there's no revelation of sleepiness or pain. It's not like that. What we're trying to do is change our relationship to everything. So we have a centering point. We have a way of getting a break so that we have a way of being with all the different things that come and go that's neither completely enmeshed in them nor pushing them away and denying them. And therein lies our freedom. If we're desperate not to feel certain things again, it's not going to happen. But we can develop a different relationship to everything. And the beginning of that, the foundation of that is having that anchor, to be able to have that resting point. Sometimes we're with the breath and a lot is going on anyway. And here I remember an image that was offered to me, which was, it's like seeing a friend in a crowd. You don't have to shove aside everybody else and say, go away, you're bothering me. We don't have to hate our distractions. But it's like our energy, our enthusiasm is going, hey, there's my friend, there's the breath. So we learn to have that centering point. We learn to deal with distraction differently. And we have a tool that we can take with us wherever we go. Welcome. We're going to practice together now. If you'd like to sit comfortably, it's fine to lie down as well. If you're sitting, see if your back can be straight without being strained or overarched. You want some energy in your body, but not like so much energy you're really stiff and uptight. You also want to be relaxed and at ease. This is a natural thing to be doing. You can close your eyes or not, however is most comfortable. If your eyes are open, they could be like a little bit open. Find a spot to rest your gaze. Let it go. And in the course of the meditation, if you get very sleepy, it's fine to open your eyes and just continue on in that way. We're going to start actually by listening to sound. The sound of my voice or other sounds. And see if you can let the sounds wash through you. Of course, we like certain sounds and we don't like others. But you don't have to chase after them, to hold on or push away. Just let them come, let them go. And feel the sensations of your body sitting, whatever sensations become apparent. Bring your attention to your hands and see if you can move from the more conceptual level, like our fingers, to the world of direct sensation. Picking up pulsing, throbbing, pressure, whatever it might be. You don't have to name these things, but feel them. And on that same level, see if you can bring your attention to the feeling of your breath, the actual sensations of your breath. In this system, it's just the normal, natural breath. You don't have to try to make it deeper or different, just however it's appearing. And see if you can find the place where it's clearest for you or strongest for you. The in and out movement of air at the nostrils or the chest or the abdomen. Find that place, bring your attention there, and just rest. See if you can feel one breath. Without concern for what's already gone by, without leaning forward for even the very next breath, just this one. And if you like, you can use a quiet mental notation like in, out. or rising, falling, to help support the awareness of the breath, but very quiet. So your attention is really going to feeling the breath, one breath at a time. It's just one breath. And if images or sounds or sensations or emotions should arise, but they're not very strong, if you can keep paying attention to the feeling of the breath, just let them flow on by. You're breathing. It's just one breath. But if something is strong, it just pulls you away, you get lost in thought, spun out in a fantasy, or you fall asleep, truly don't worry about it. We say the most important moment is the next moment after you've been gone, after you've lost it. That's the moment when we can practice letting go and we can practice beginning again. So no matter how many times you have to do that, it's totally fine. We say the healing is in the return, not in never having wandered to begin with. We let go and we start over. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes or lift your gaze, and we'll end the session. Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this lesson, then I think you'll love this video right here.